Don't mind me, I haven't started yet. Just wanted to show you this excellent bit of wide sweeping moorland panorama as I trudge my way to the start of today's activities. Yellow gorse flowers in bloom. It's beautiful. Wonderful day as well. Alright, speak to you again soon. Right. Hello again. It's about 11 o'clock on Sunday, drag the top of the screen down, 24th of April, 2022, yeah, same year. And look, there's the bridge I got to last time. Yeah, so I've already had considerable warm-up this morning. I've parked the car somewhere in that sort of direction and got a bus halfway here and had to walk the other half, which is, you know, half a bus ride better than having to walk the entire day there and back again, so it's good. And I've done the tedious logistical connecting walk that's usually a bit grim. That's all good to go. Is that a Ukrainian flag on the top of Beaulieu House, Montague House or whatever? It is. That's all still going on, but I just don't really want to talk about it, to be honest. I'm sure you can find more about that everywhere else. That we're low tide, tidal as well. That is seaweed, that's kelp. So clearly salty here, tidal, certainly this side of all that sluicing. Out to the sea. The sea is about 5 miles that way. And I haven't seen it in a while, since Lymington in fact. Hopefully we're going to find it again today, that's the plan. Probably one of my longest inland detours since leaving Minehead. About 2 or 3 days worth. Yeah, so yeah, here I am in an octogenarian's ornament cupboard. I'm sure you can buy all these buildings as miniatures to put on shelves. And I got to follow this quite busy A road, V road, probably is an A road actually. This cuts right through the centre of Beaulieu. This goes back up to Southampton that way. I've got to follow it for at least 2 miles before I can get to the turning I want. And even then, today is pretty much going to be all on-road stuff. That what with there being no coast path to speak of in the New Forest, it's all forest goes directly into the sea and a lot of private land along the edges. So I really don't know what's going to happen with this English coast path. I think this is one of the sections marked on the big zone shot. Oh, stampede. Hello. That's loud bin noises over there, I think. Yeah, this is one of the sections on the coast path marked as under discussion or whatever. So I imagine local landed gentry will be kicking up quite a fuss about itinerant oiks like me traipsing along their shorefront, especially when they paid so very much for their shorefronts. But that's fine. Anyway, so yeah, up and away and out of Beaulieu, up onto there. I'll get the map out and do a map bit a bit later, but yes, follow the road out and out. Trying to get run over by cars or cyclists or even horses. A whole load of donkeys in my way over there. So yeah, very natural nature going on today. I'm going to crack on anyway, get underway. I'll speak to you again soon. Trudge. Very quiet bit on the main road here. There comes more cars. Very noisy along here. Kind of miss my noise cancelling headphones. But I don't bring headphones or music or things on these hikes. I like to enjoy the sounds of nature. Very high proportion of sports cars here today. More so than the usual average. Lotuses, Jaguars, a couple of Ferraris, a lot of soft top stuff, very quirky vintage cars. What's that? I have no idea. Some Hillman, something or other. Up and out and up and away. Yeah. This is quite a moneyed part of the world, clearly. God, I've come down here once already today. So there we go, that was Beaulieu. Anyway, a village I only have to visit because there's no ferry where I wanted it. So we're going to try and head back to the coast somehow today. First of all, I have to trudge up here. I mean, I thought electric cars would mean this was all going to be a lot more quiet and pleasant, but Actually, it turns out that most of the noise from these cars is wheel drag on the road. Particularly those coming down there. All those engines are basically idling. Most of the noise is the wheels on the road, and that's not going to change at all with electric cars. So I have no idea if you can even hear what I'm saying. I'm going to head down and trudge on, try not to get run down. I have to cross over it a bit. Looks a bit wider on that side. Ugh. Morning. Look at you, you're very red. Good grief, it's like 20 past 11. You shouldn't be cock crowing at this time of day. Still trudging. Look, bluebells. I mean, it's only April. Still not quite May, and already sleeves off and suntan lotion on. Bluebells are plenty there, lovely. Particularly iconic scene, this part of the world, this time of year. Yeah, somewhat less iconic though is this massive thundering, I think it is an A road actually, it's the main way into Beaulieu. Oh, yeah, not even a permissive footpath, the other side of a hedge, you know? It's just no pleasing me really. A lot of cyclists, they're quite brave. I think they're more exposed than I am, certainly. They're going just fast enough for it to really hurt if you get it wrong, you know. And still just fragile enough to be totally destroyed by any of these cars if anything goes wrong on their end. At least I can dive into a hedge if I need to. Wow. This is certainly not what 8-year-old Tim dreamt of when he first read The Hobbit at school. Yeah, this is bad. I'll get release forms from each and every one of these people now. So there is a pub up ahead at the junction where we're going to turn off of this nightmare. This is good. Might stop for a lunchtime lemonade. Get the map out, show you what the plan is for today. This is all still preliminaries, this. Yeah, pub's not open for another 8 minutes. So let's have a look at the map. So here is the New Forest, the big pink blob. I am pretty much just outside Beaulieu. And this sort of dotted line is the Solent Way. Number 7, Solent Way, yes. Also E9 European Coastal Path, remember that? They both agree that, frankly, Fawley, Calshot and Leap are not worth visiting. I disagree. So instead of taking the sort of 5 miles, 6 miles to the Hythe Ferry, which would have been today's trip, I'm going to go down here and across to Calshot, which is right on the end. And then on a different next weekend probably trip, go from Calshot up to the Hythe Ferry. Pushing an additional day on, I don't need to, but hell, I'm in charge, it's my rules, my route. Because I just don't agree that large chunks of the coast, 20 mile chunks of the coast are worth chopping off, frankly. So I'm going off-road, I'm going off mission, basically. I'm having to define my own mission, you know, which is interesting and scary. So that's Beaulieu just there off the other side of the edge of that crease. I am just about near that beer glass, which is behind me. The Royal Oak Inn there. So I just come trudging off from the bus stop here, and I got a bus from like over here somewhere. There's my car, but don't steal it before I get there, okay? I need it. So yeah, the plan today is I'm here. I'm going to go down here to Exbury, village of. Then I'm going to come off this orange road. This is a B road, by the way. It was the B3054, something like that. Anyway, beer doesn't matter. So I go down here. Great big long road trudge again, but I'm hoping this side one's going to be a bit quieter than this main one that connects through. Yeah, down to Exbury. Then take this yellow one. Oh, hello. Folding nightmare. Here we go. Oh, there's nothing over there, just sea. Right, okay. So, but yes, this yellow one goes pretty much as near to the sea as I can get. Eventually comes down to Leap, L-E-P-E, Leap Country Park and Beach. So basically, yes, my yellow road comes down here, and actually we should be able to see the sea again there, and we'll be basically across the mouth of the Beaulieu River from Needs Oar Point, where there wasn't a path either before last time. I was all up there last time. Yeah. So we'll follow the yellow one along as far as we can, and then we're going to have to do, once we've been to Leap, we're going to have to probably go back inland and follow this orange one, because all of this stuff here is all privately owned, and we will shoot you if you come down this track sort of thing. There's not really a continuous actual path along this shoreline, which is a shame, because that would have been a useful bit of coastal path. But yeah, so back along this orange one up to Ower, and then back down that orange one to the car park, and then I think today I need to get to the end as well, really, before I can call it an actual finish, and then come back and get the car and go home. Sunset today is about 8:30, I think. Yeah, so it really swings around fast when summertime comes. We are technically in British summertime now, although it's only still April. Well, that is quite, I reckon probably 14 degrees or so. There's quite a stiff northeasterly breeze keeping everything cool today, which is nice. Pretty much perfect conditions, actually. Relatively flat roads and going. No, like, you know, canyons to try and work out how to cross, no rivers to ford across, no ferries to catch, no times or anything like that. It's all good. Nice relaxed day, really. Just meandering along English country lanes, really, in the New Forest. So yeah, okay. Have I waffled enough for this pub to be open yet? Don't really fancy anything to eat, but I could do with a pint of lemonade, I think. That'd be good. We're trudging on along this road here. Hopefully it's going to get a bit quieter than that main road over there, but we'll see. A lot of tarmac today, unfortunately. Still, it is what it is. Speak to you again soon. Heard you like lemons, so we put some lemon in your lemonade. Can't complain, that's how I like it. Yeah, getting busy in here now, setting up for lunch. Not me, I've got too many miles to cover. Quaff this and be on my way. Yeah, much refreshed. So, it's been a proper New Forest for you. Actually, I traipsed across here earlier on my way to Beaulieu, over there somewhere. Different route this one. The gorse in bloom. Let's have a close up. Do my obligatory nature bit. There it is. Look at the spikes on that. Yeah, looks all lovely and country and serene from a distance, but yeah, you fall in there, you're going to know about it. Yeah, I mean, this gorse is about the only thing that doesn't get eaten by the ponies and horses and things on the thing, which is why the place looks like it does. Is that an ecological tragedy of overgrazing? I don't know. Imagine once upon a time the New Forest did actually look primordial woodland all the way across here. Across most of the south of England, but man takes his toll. You look at this area on a Google Maps satellite view and whatever, and just the south of Hampshire in general. There's so many fields. Pretty much everything is fields. There's a few splotches of forest here and there. A place like this is very much an exception to the rule on the greater scale. Anyway, who's for some juxtaposition? So yeah, you got windswept desolate moorlands worthy of poetry. Sweeping, 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 sweeping. Bah! Who runs Barter Town? That is the Fawley Oil Refinery. A megaplex of petrochemical engineering. All Batman-esque, Gotham-like towers and gantries and tubes and things. There was a power station down there as well. We'll probably see the site of that as we get a bit nearer the end of today's walk. But that is pretty much going to be preoccupied most of next weekend's walk, which is the day after this one. Because, yeah, we basically got to skirt our way around all that. Try and find as close a shore access as we can through all the oil terminals and things. It's going to be an entirely different day, different character to today, I think. I'm going this way, in search of the sea again, which I've missed. It's been like, at least a fortnight since I've seen the sea. And I can't cope. So yes, off we go. What's that in there? Moon Hills Gate. Well, one back there was Little Moon Hills and Moon Hills Lodge. I love the idea. Moon Hills. It's a great name. So those red signs over there are not the traditional, if you cross this line we will explode you with mortar fire that I see a lot of. It's nesting ground birds. Can't see it from here much. Seen others like it. So yeah, they'd rather you didn't go walking out across the middle of there if you didn't have to, because there's nests and things. I'm right along here, it's just pretty much on the road margin. Watch my feet, I don't want to tread on any eggs. Seems unnecessary, frankly. Yeah, so I didn't see any Solent Way signs on that road back up there, and now I'm off all the tracks altogether now, making forging my own destiny. No one's told me to go along here, but I mean, I'm not totally confident with just random freestyle improvisation on a scale of this magnitude, so did a bit of research, Googling and whatnot, as I do. I do some prep sometimes. It's not all just spare at the moment, made up hazard. And I came across the blog of one Dr. Ruth Livingston, and she is an absolute boss. She is basically has the domain of coastalwalker.co.uk, and essentially she basically in around 2010 went out to the coast at Norfolk somewhere, hit the seashore, and then just turned south and started walking, and that was like 12 years ago now. She's been at it for that whole time. According to the blog, she's done about 4,000 miles and made it to northwest Scotland before COVID came down and sort of scampered it for everyone. I may remember me missing a May week out as well, that kind of time. She then went back to Norfolk after the course of the COVID's gone, and now she's carrying on north and trying to meet herself coming back, as it were. She's documented every leg of the trip with photos and descriptions on her WordPress blog there, and including, most crucially, a stalk me on Google type map type printout that shows the route she's taken. And that's fantastic for me, because it means somebody else has done this harebrained stuff already. She came through here, literally here if her route tracking app is to be believed, around 2016, but she was going that way. She is doing it clockwise. I appear to be doing it anti-clockwise. And it's just a bit of a revelation to realise that this, well, I didn't really think I was the first person to come up with this mad idea, obviously. But it's good to know there's loads of people out there. Her blog's still active. She posted in March, posted updates from a trip she made in last September. She's still at it, as far as I can tell. Apparently she's about 20 years older than I am as well, and an inspiration, frankly. Don't know her and just come across her blog, but starting to read through some of her entries, particularly this entry here, and she reports as being extremely disappointed about what little coastal access there is around the New Forest as well, private property. She basically took a road route that's very similar to the route I'm taking today. So, set backwards, obviously. So, yeah. No, I recommend going and have a look at that. She's up to about 456 entries on the blog so far. And I think I've only done about, 70 or 80 of these videos. So, it just goes to show you what a huge amount of work there is still to do ahead. But I'm reassured by the fact that there's at least one reference material I can consult with and compare notes with. Indeed, copy if it comes to it. In terms of what route is acceptable. She's got a little page on there that explains her rules for the endeavour. She's basically cast it as a lifetime endeavour, much the way I have. And she's got, her rules are basically very similar to mine. Closest to the coast as possible, nearest to the sea, crossing of rivers, ferries if they're available. She makes islands optional, so I don't know if she did the Isle of Wight or not. I think I might treat islands as optional. But I do want to do the Isle of Wight because it's a significant chunk I don't want to miss. But yeah, so do recommend going and checking the work of the good Dr. Ruth, and I imagine I'll be referring to her by name throughout many of these future videos without any real context, so you'll probably want to go and have a look anyway. Recommend it. But yeah, and her sidebar on her blog, this is old-fashioned type it out as text blog rather than the sort of video stuff. I used to do a type it out as text blog, but I just don't have the hours in the day anymore. But yeah, she's got a sidebar there with at least 20 or 30 of a blog roll of other people doing something similar, and there's often comments on individual stages on her entries and posts where people are comparing notes and stuff. So it seems that far from this being just some solitary madness that I've come up with as a kind of ongoing midlife crisis, this is a thing. This is a thing that people do. Not many, but they are out there. Perhaps even right now in different stretches of the coast around the country this very Sunday. Perhaps they're out there knocking another 10 miles off a 4,000 mile journey. Who knows? But it's heartening. It really is. It's just, faintly reassuring to know that this has been done by at least one other person who didn't die, didn't give up, is still at it. I mean, it's a bit daunting as well in a way, because it's sort of just illustrating how far I've still got to go and how little I've done in the grand scheme of it all. But yes, so the good Dr. Ruth will be my guide from here on. Not no signposts with like seagulls on or acorns or whatever, because there's not really going to be a lot of that sort of stuff about from here on. But that's okay. Learning quite a lot of logistics from Dr. Ruth's website as well, about how she manages the day stages and stuff. She has a fold-up bike. She parks at the end, which is what I do. She cycles to the start, locks the bike up and hides it in a hedge, walks back to the car, then picks up the car, drives back to where the bike is and picks it up. That's genius. That means she's absolutely, completely non-dependent on buses and trains, which I tend to find on the day stage stuff. I don't think she camps. I don't think she does through hiking on week by week basis, which is what I like to do once I get a bit further away from here. But yeah, no, it's interesting to just have anyone else to compare notes with, you know? Really helpful. Greatly improving the chances of me succeeding at this thing, I think. You know, for technical advice, she's got some books out, which I will have to buy, obviously. But yeah. No, I hope she's still at it. It's been a while since she's done any hiking, but she's been posting fairly regularly lately. I should probably email her and say hello or something, but I'm a bit shy, you know. But anyway, but yes, the bit I'm interested in, she's basically done completely up to Norfolk, which is quite a long way away from here, quite a great many number more trips than this. Yeah, she did all this in 2016, so she would have been through here about, 6 years ago. Doubt the roads and paths and routes and logistics have changed dramatically in that time. So, yeah, excellent. And yeah, I checked today's entry, or the entry she made of the bit I'm doing today, and she's very much in accordance with the route I'd picked out as well, which is good. So yeah, I shall stop being a fanboy and gushing so much and carry on walking for a bit. This way to Exbury, where there's a garden and a steam railway, which I might try and poke my head over a fence and have a look at, but I've not got time to. A steam railway to where? There's nothing. Oh well, whatever. Bit of traffic. Still, this is much quieter than the other road, so I'm not complaining. Passing through a dark, dense bit of conifers here. What are those? Pines, spruce, something. Don't know. Condors. They're large. Yes. Don't know. I think they're imports. I think it's like a wild second or third generation plantation of some sort. I mean, the oak. That oak. That's your native species. Big old gnarly, twisty sort of branches and the distinctive leaves. I see a distinctive leaf somewhere around here. Probably not without pulling one off a tree. It's not really the right time of year for leaves on the ground, apart from last year's. But yes, oaks. Well, that one might be a beech. I don't know. Welcome to Bullshit Hour on the Tim Hike programme. Again. Yeah, that's been oak. Hang on, let me try a zoom. There we go. It's as zoomy as I can get. With the steadiest of hands. There, those are definitely oak leaves. I think. I don't know. Correct me in comments as ever. Good. Let's crack on. I've seen a few coaches go past. This must be that Exbury Gardens and Steam Railway. But I'm still intrigued to work out where else that steam railway goes to. Because we're basically between this road and the Beaulieu River. There's about like a half a mile strip. And there's no other villages really around here. So it could be anything. I don't know. Yes, the local liege requires every man of standing age to be able to draw a bow and be mustered for an army when required. No, it's at my local club, I think. Eh? Free archery. Taster 10 to 4. Next right. That's quite tempting. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Just fell down a ditch. Probably ought not to be given a bow, really. Not that. I'm too clumsy. Yeah, I mean, if this were a proper travel show, I'd be in there and meeting local people and all that stuff, but I just can't be asked. I'm here to walk, not shoot bows and arrows at things. You shoot the bow or the arrow? I can never remember. No, that's good. Local crafts and things. Sunday afternoons. Marvellous. Yeah, free archery indeed. See, is it wrong that I just see that sign and think trap? Like, you know, free Acme birdseed. You just sort of rock up. Free archery? Yeah, certainly. Come here, just stand here in front of this bale of straw. Okay. Yeah, I see what they did there. I'm too cunning. Oh, this is Exbury Gardens and Steam Railway. I think I understand Steam Railway now. It's tiny. It's one of those little model engineering sit-on jobs. I don't know what gauge. My dad could tell you. He's well into this stuff. Builds those for fun. Not quite that big. Slightly smaller gauge scales and stuff. He's very good at them. They're very impressive. Don't know how impressive that one is. I can't be bothered to go over there, to be honest. I should probably be able to tell you what class it is, though, because I was supposed to be paying attention when my dad was talking about this stuff. Britannia class, maybe? I don't know. Moving on. Yeah, Exbury Gardens, which, much like the free archery, I believe is a trap, and so we'll be visiting in person. I've got to keep going this way. I need to see the sea. That's why I'm here. Not some sort of inland country gardens. But there's all sorts of other YouTube feeds for that. Got to keep moving, which is along this very long and straight road. It's not really yielded much of interest since the pub. Although I suppose you could argue that is of interest. It just looks like a massive car park to me. I think this is the principal reason people are using this road. I suspect the road itself will get quite a bit quieter beyond the other side of this place. Should be good. Right, well, the mystery of the steam engine and where it goes is solved. It goes in a big loop around the garden and comes back to the car park, I expect. Not quite what I was expecting. Then nothing much is. It's great. Keeps life interesting. Ah, look at this one. I think it escaped. This is just by the roadside. Very, very pink. They're rhododendron. I mean, they're an invasive weed generally. Brought over, but I think as curiosities by Victorian explorers and just left to roam unchecked in our woodlands. Mind you, it's got a very pretty flower there. It's blowing out the colours on my phone. It's almost like a lily type, orchid-y type of trumpety bit there. Yeah. Splendid. Oh, tracker. Get out of the way. It's quite a distinctive water tower, green silo thing. Again, no idea. Yeah, so this is Exbury Village, or Exbury Estate, I suppose. So leaps 2 1/4 that way by road, but I can go down here. This one here is like a long way around Inchmerry Lane, which does actually go back past the sea, hopefully. A bit quicker than this, which means an even quieter road, hopefully. Beaulieu 4. Yeah, cracking on. So leap 2 1/2, 2 1/4 there, probably another 3 or 4 to Calshot as well. Time 12:31. Yeah, we've got loads of time. It's all good. Feeling relatively in good shape, strong, walking. No blisters. I haven't had a blister in a very long time, pretty much since I bought these boots, to be honest. My feet have basically conformed to them and toughened up underneath now. But the legs get a bit achy after a long stint with no resting. That's what I'm hoping to improve. Try and get a bit more durability before I try a week-long camping thing again with the backpack. That's good. Yeah, hale and hearty. Cracking on. Oh, cherry blossom? I don't know. It's not cherry blossom, is it? I just assume every pink flower on a tree like that is cherry, but I imagine other species have pink flowers too. I don't know. Shocking the amount of things I don't know compared to the things I do know. And then out of the things I do know, I actually don't know a lot of that as well, it turns out. So where does that leave me? Well, talking cobblers for about 50 minutes of hiking video, I suppose. Otherwise, it's just going to be a long period of awkward silences throughout the day. 40 mile an hour. Okay, yeah, I'll try and keep it down. You know, I was going to shut up for a bit, but look at that, I got to film this. Look. Fantastic lawn ornament of some sort of winged beetle. Looks like it's cast iron or rusted steel of some sort. Splendid. Yeah, bend in the road. I think we swing round to the coast now. Palais de Vaches Gallery. What is that? Palace of Cows? Bulls? Des? French? I mean, I see a fingerboard over there, this footpath, which is, you know, enticing. And bear in mind, I've got no route of my own to follow. I'm just sort of winging it a bit. But I think that just goes down there and then comes back again, because that goes off to the other side of Needs or Point at the estuary mouth of the River Beaulieu. Just, yeah, tempting, but I think I might just stick with the certainty of continuing to follow this little road around a bit, because it does head me in the direction I need to go. And also I think we are pretty near the coast now. We should just sort of glance over that hedge a bit, stand up on here, get a bit of zoom. There we go, that's the flats which form the mouth of the Beaulieu River. That Beaulieu River itself is the little thin strip between the two headlands. That far one is the other side. Bends around a bit there. Isle of Wight in the background. So I think all we need to really do is just follow this road round and we'll end up following the sea towards Leap. Should be good. See my old friend the sea again. How have you been? It's been a fortnight. What have you been up to? Anything good? Yeah. And here we are. Once again, pretty much more or less at the sea. Yeah, let's call that the sea. And we have a choice and a dilemma. Public footpath Leap 1.5. High tide route Leap 1.5. Part of the Leap Loop, which I had never heard of until this very moment. I don't know what the tide times are. I mean, I can probably look them up, obviously. But I suspect the low tide routes could involve a lot of squelching and shingle. I might just stick with the high tide route, which is the road, basically. It's only 1.5 miles. I feel like I ought to take the shore route, but I don't know. Just don't know when the tides are. That's clearly out, but how far out and what sort of range has it got? It can get quite deceptive on these flat bits, you know. Cover all that in the space of 30 minutes, probably, if it's flat enough, level enough, that is. Don't know, what have we got? Okay. Oh, you know what? Let's chance it. I've had feedback from one of my most recent videos from a friend who watches them. Said there's not nearly enough jeopardy now that there's no like hills or mountains or ferries I need to catch in time or rivers I need to wade across. And I agree. The New Forest is not really the place you come for a danger holiday. So yeah, let's have a bit of jeopardy, shall we? Let's try the low tide route. And assume it's going to hold for the next 1.5 miles. So I do 1.5 miles on the road in about half an hour. So I think I'm probably going to be okay. But yeah, jeopardy then. Jeopardy it is. Peril. Peril commencing. Wish me luck. I may not make it to the other side. Actually, looking at it, I don't think there's an awful lot of peril. I mean, you can see the high tide mark, which is basically this sort of line of kelp here. There's some footprints. Someone else has been through here today, so that's a good sign. But this stuff here, this green grass, this doesn't grow in the intertidal range. Seawater would kill all that. So I think I'm probably safe up to about here, really, if it all goes wrong. Big fallen oak here on the way across the path. Let's go around that a little bit. Go through it. Yeah, jeopardy, peril, here we go. Gonna try and climb about on a tree. Should make things more interesting. Still budding. Yeah. Not summer yet. Still some spring to finish springing. Tiny little shoots still unfurling in the sun. But yeah, that must be underwater at times. There's green algae growing on it. And there's cruft caught in the upper branches there. See, local signs, wilderness survival skills that will keep me safe, probably. Yeah. And yeah, there is the majestic Isle of Wight. Quite a lot of it now. You can't even see the needles from here, so it's like just over there, probably needles. Just panning along. 10 times zoom. I don't even know what the features and hills and things are called on there. Or even the coastal towns. It's a big old place though. It will take me 4 days to hike all the way around it, and that's a fair old push too. Don't know if I want to have an option on an emergency 5th day, just in case, when I plan that trip. Probably try and get a week-long open-ended hovercraft ticket. I'm going to use the hovercraft because it's so cool. I don't know why hovercrafts aren't the future. I do know why hovercrafts aren't the future. They're hugely fuel inefficient. You're basically trying to lift your entire vessel into the air on one fan being powered by motors that you have to carry the fuel for on top of the fan as well. Compared to a cross-channel ferry which just like naturally floats without any kind of energy expenditure. Yeah, that's why there's no hovercrafts everywhere, which is a shame. What would Jerry Anderson do, you know? Well, I know exactly what Jerry Anderson would do. Jerry Anderson would solve the problem by going nuclear hovercraft on every front drive, you know? That's the kind of 1950s we should have had. But yeah, looking forward to the Isle of Wight. I'm looking forward to camping again, actually. I'm looking forward to just throwing that big old bastard backpack back on and worrying about where I can hide my tent every night, you know? Because it will be a wild camp week over there. Because that's how I roll. I think we're probably sufficiently far from COVID that I could use hotels and B&Bs if I wanted to, but I don't really want to. Where's the adventure in just walking from one hotel to another, you know? So yeah. But yeah, that'll be a couple of weeks away, and that's probably going to be later than my usual early May trip, because I just don't think I'll be at Portsmouth by then. Probably hitting Portsmouth by sort of early June instead, or late May. And then, yeah, take a week off work, grab the backpack, get on over there. Sample the delights, exotic climes and so forth. Yes, but look, yes, we're actually on the seafoot. Oh, we're on the coast. I'm doing a coast path, and one of my own devising. Well, the Leap Loop, I suppose. There you go. I learned a thing today. In the loop. There we are. Mud flats coming to an end. We're pretty much out of the river estuary from the Beaulieu then. This is just back onto the Solent, the south coast. I suppose all this bit between the south coast and the Isle of Wight is the Solent, not just the bit round the corner that goes up to Southampton. Part of the Greater English Channel, or La Manche, depending on which side you're looking at it from. Yeah. Mud, very soft, sort of clay-like substance, probably is clay, yeah. So yeah, that looks like Leap Beach itself, the car park and little country parky bit and stuff. I have a reasonable expectation of getting an ice cream when I make it that far over. This is just along this bit, and I think, to be honest, the whole tide thing's not really going to be an issue as it turns out. Seems like I was panicking for no reason. Bit of false drama there, splendid. Right, let's shuffle along the beach and see if there's ice cream available. That could be the drama now. Of course they'll have ice cream, but do they have rum and raisin? I need to know! Some steps, big long trudge along, quite loose sound. Got a bit more of a pathy type path here now. Crack on towards the end. There you go, warning, you may be cut off at high tide. Seems a bit harsh, but I suppose rules is rules. Right, is that, I don't know, is that Cowles? What am I looking at? I think Cowles is further over, isn't it? So between the headlands. So where's that one there? Is that Fishguard, Fishbourne, something? No, Fishguard's the other side. That might be Cowles. Oh, I'd have to look at a map. That might spoil it. Alright, let's keep on. Still don't know about the ice cream status ahead. Dun dun dun. Lighthouse, little mini one. Don't know if that's ornamental or whether it even goes around and does stuff. It's got the old Beaulieu symbol on the top. Those 3 red lozenges, that sort of diamonds, 3 diamonds. I've seen that all over the village at Beaulieu. Must be their sort of heraldic local thing. I don't know. Anyway, we're up onto some proper path and things now. Look at that sea, it's so calm. Just sheltered from the northeast wind coming that way, I think. It's just really, really placid. Quite quiet. Don't really want to make too much noise. Couple of big boats out there. Not sure if they come through this end normally. I don't know, it depends on how much draft they got, or whatever. I think normally they come through the Portsmouth end, but I don't know, big container shipping port around the corner and up the Solent. We'll probably see some of that in the days of hiking ahead. But yeah, right now this is a lovely place. I'm almost not grumpy about having to follow roads all over the place. Although once we leave Leap, we'll have to get back on the road again as well. So, right, let's go and see this house. See if it sells ice cream. So it might just be a house, you know. So they get fed up with idiots like me banging on the door and asking for choc chip, mint cones and whatnot. Paddle boarding, yeah. Some people swimming in it rather than me. There was a whole load of protests in the news this week, various locations around the country, people dressing up as mermaids and squids and things to protest about water utilities companies dumping sewage straight into the rivers and sea. Because apparently they're allowed to, if they sort of, you know, lose their shit and suddenly find themselves unable to do the one thing that they're paid to do, they can just chuck it all in the sea by law if they like, for as many days as they like, I think. And I think the protests were about trying to curb that a bit. Now hang on, can't you just like store it in a tank until you've got time to process it properly, or that kind of thing. But yeah, alarming figures about the numbers of bugs being dredged out of microscopic ones, you know, stomach bugs, that sort of thing. Just cupfuls of random river sampling and so on across the country. It's a big problem. So yeah, another reason not to go in the sea. Plus there's sharks, you know, narwhals and so on. Ice cream beckons, probably. Or does it? Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, so it turns out that was just someone's house. Delightfully eccentric. I don't know how much longer that's going to be there. This is very sheltered though, I think it's probably fine. And yeah, look, the road goes right along the seafront now. Well, shoreline. I'm not sure seafront's the right word. Some marshes there. That up there, that looks very much more like a cafe type structure. What do you show me? 10 times zoom. Looks somewhat municipal. Yeah, and then I need to turn left and head inland, which is going to be a bit of a shame. Well, the coast beyond is all private, I think. Well, beyond a certain walk up and then come back limit. Which is a shame. Still, enjoy the moment. Love it. Beautiful here. Not terribly busy. That car park does look quite full. Now we'll see. Oh dear. Unnecessary. So yeah, sometimes we try and we fail. There was a massive queue, so I gave up. Heading on. No ice cream. Damn you! So it's all up the road from here. I've seen a sign that specifically says Calshot up here, not that way. So stay off the beach, basically. To keep an eye out for signs. But yeah, it's basically another bit of road trudging. Hope you enjoyed the beach, because that was it for today until Calshot. There's a big old bit of it there as well, so it should be quite interesting. But yes, so we'll just have to have an ice cream later. My traditional white chocolate magnum on the way home. So yep, here we go. Up and out. Right, so that's the main Leap Road. Leap Road? Leap. This one goes to Calshot apparently. Which is good because that's where my car is. 2.5 miles. And probably another mile or so out onto the spit itself. So yeah, doing well. What's the time? It's 2 o'clock. I was in the zone there a bit, going off in places in my head because that was a really boring road. Despite the occasional near-death experience that you just sort of shrug off as a road-bound pedestrian. Not even a permissive footpath down the side of the field, eh? Is it too much to ask? It probably is. I suppose that's the whole point of permissive, isn't it? So yeah, just shuffle along here for a little bit. It's all very pleasant. The sun's quite high now and it's getting a bit hot. I'll have to re-suntan soon. And yeah, let's get another bit of drink. Water, I suppose. I've got a litre of water and a bottle in the bag, obviously. Won't leave home without one. Rookie mistake that, going hiking without any water. But yeah, not much shops and pubs along here, it's all very quiet. Also, there's a whole little network of tiny roads around here that I'm not supposed to use because they're all private. Hopefully they'll be signposted as such. I think I just follow this one till I get to Ower, O-W-E-R, and then turn right, walk to Calshot. So yeah, good. So yeah, back to the picturesque English countryside now. It's like the sea was just a dream. Hallucination. What's in here? Get me nosy. And a little bit of margin. See, you could put a footpath down there, no problem. Whether you want to or not, it's another matter. Right, let's go. No idea where I am now, which is nothing really that new or surprising. Bit of a loopy road that crosses this flat river valley here. Stream bed, flatlands, marsh, something. Don't think it's flooded substantially in a very long time though. Deep grass there. Yeah, zoned out again. It's the roads that do it. Just the tarmac and the feet, one in front of the other. Quite dangerous. I probably need to sit down and have a bit of a drink, I think. Just get the water out. Maybe in this little side turning with the gate up here. I need to head this way next, just follow it around, yeah. Nothing really to it, navigation wise. It gets to a junction at the end and I go right and then I'm in Calshot eventually. So what I like about roads, I mean, yeah, get the mileage in. Like a solid 3 mile an hour along here. It's not too hilly, just a bit dull. Right, sit on this gate or something. The country bumpkin I'm pretending to be. Good, right, yeah. I mean, it's only what, 2:15 and I've got like 3 miles to go maybe. So I certainly have enough time in hand to sit and relax for a little bit, which I'm going to try and do now. Good. Push record, break ankle. Splendid. Makes for great television. Yeah. I was about to talk about a forest and things, but here it is. You can see it. And I'm trying to see if my ankle's okay. I think it is. It's alright, I think it's just a twist. Yeah. I think I might be more lost than I thought, because cars from the 1930s keep going past 1920s. People with enormous beards and actual flying goggles on and hats. I mean, you know, is there any other cues that 21st century technology exists? Maybe I slept longer than I thought back there, or something. And I'm still getting 2 bars. That's fine. The modern world still does exist. Yeah. A heady smell of pine, or spruce. Seen pine cones, quite a lot of them, or spruce cones, whichever. Does spruce have cones? I'll have to ask. Oh, that's a modern car. That's good. As a relief. So we've got a bit Alice in Wonderland again. Some gatehouse for the enormous estate which occupies the coast between Leap and Calshot, of which I'm not allowed to snoop and partake. There's a lot of very serious looking signs about CCTV on my way here. No worry about accidentally taking the wrong path here. Still, I reckon about 1.5 miles to the car, and a little bit more to do after that, but it's all interesting from beyond the car because it goes out onto the headland. See the Solent in all its majesty. Be good. Hello. I heard you. No, there's no good home behind that tree. Sneaky squirrel. Yeah. That's good. Hiking well. Getting a bit tired now, but that's okay. It's expected for this kind of mileage. It'd be weird if it wasn't. Here we are. Big junction. Quite quiet actually. Yeah, right. So there's not much down here apart from Calshot itself. So it shouldn't be too busy. No, it gets busier the further up you go. I suppose more villages and towns attached to it. Cross over to here, I think. Yeah. So yeah, just a bit of a trudge along here, back to the car park, and then along to the end. That'll be it for today. Oh, we can see the power station. I can just sort of see it over there. Can we see through there? Decommissioned, being demolished. It was a grand old structure that was. We'll get a better look at it when we get around there. Alright. Bus stop. Civilization. This is Calshot, a village. That's a cemetery. Right. Oh, this planter sponsored by Fawley Waterside. Exxon Mobil, SO Mobil 1. Fawley Parish Council. I mean, have you seen that refinery? That's the one I showed you from the moor from about like 8 miles away this morning. Yeah, sure, a couple of buckets of, what are those, marigolds? I don't even know. A couple of buckets of flowers is going to make a lot of difference. I will definitely see more of the massive refinery next trip, probably next week. For now, let's get to the end. See a kite up over there. So here's the car park. Car's still here, which is good. Gonna get some bonus mileage in though before I boot us off and drive home. Get around the corner there and onto the spit. It's the interesting bit of Calshot. Everything else is just a village, you know, see a lot of those. Beach huts, yeah, I wonder how much those cost. Double wides, look. Pricey. Well, this is longer than I was expecting. So let's look over this side. Red Funnel, Isle of Wight car ferry. Runs out of Southampton, that one, I think. And the docks that end. Been on there. To the Isle of Wight Garlic Festival once upon a time, a couple of years back. Quite a few years back now. Lovely day out. That was, you know, what you'd expect. Outdoor country festival, almost entirely devoted to garlic. They grow a lot of it over there. Presumably afraid of vampires, but it may just be economic. Yeah. Bit shingly here, not an ideal beach. Right, let's keep on. Yeah, so that's a bit of a revamp since I was here last. It's an activity centre. Well, it always was. I'm doing school trips when I was like in secondary school to here for a week-long kayaking and whatnot. I think those are dormitory blocks, the red ones. But yeah, it existed long before that. I don't know if it's a war thing or a post-war thing. Got a feeling they do seaplanes here, or did seaplanes. I don't think it's like boat building. It's not that sort of hangars. I think there was like, yeah, aeronautical swordfishes and whatnot. There's a customs tower there. I think that's some sort of harbour master type arrangement on the top and the end. That's modern, that's concrete, sort of 70s. And then there's like a ye olde castle there, Napoleonic, maybe Tudor, I don't know. God, there's too many periods of history to remember each of their names. But yeah, a right old mix on there. I'll go and have a look. There's a velodrome and a dry ski slope and a very good climbing wall inside one of these. I'll have to poke my head in, I suppose, when we get a bit nearer. Kind of wishing I'd parked here now, because I'm going to have to walk all the way back over there, but that's okay. It's okay. It's fine. I could probably sit down and have a coffee at the end. There's cafes and things up there as well. I'm kind of off the clock at the moment. This is pretty much where I want to get to, though. The tip of the activity centre down there, the coast, the little castle and the tower thing. Next time we're heading off across there. Oh, it is still there. Get a better view from around the end, but that's the power station. They've sort of in the process of decommissioning and demolishing it. I believe it was oil or gas, probably gas, because obviously beyond it is a massive oil refinery. And there was never coal or nuclear. But check that dome-like rounded structure on this end. It's very moon-based 70s chic. I love it. Shame it's not listed. But yeah, I think they're demolishing it, taking it apart. I think it's been decommissioned for about 10 years, I think. It's not been running or active for a long time, but they're sort of dismantling it now. Yeah, that's Southampton over there. Container docks. Ocean Village. Yeah, obviously more. I'll go in there anyway in like 2 hikes time, so Right, let's carry on. Nearly there. So I'm looking at in the distance. I always like to look at a distant vista ahead of me on the coast. That's Portsmouth, I'm sure of it. I'll zoom. Yeah, there you go. So the tall one on the left in the centre of the shot is One Gunwharf Quay, and the one on the right, the spindly looking one, is the Spinnaker Tower. That's the centre of Portsmouth. That is in distance, about 15 miles away, maybe. Hovercraft I intend to take is on the Clarence Pier, which will be a bit further along. That's probably Gosport then, and haven't. Let's go around the end somehow. I'm hoping the promenade paths pick up a bit on the other side. There's a bit more of a regular coastal path all along this side of that far side of the Solent. A bit less private property, get off my land. A bit more, please come this way, follow the fingerboard. But there's, like, you can see a caravan park there. There's a lot more coastal amenities along there, I think. Right, let's keep at it. Nearly at the end. Blimey. Wish this place was here when I was in my late teens. Mind you, it's a bit of a trek from where I live even back then. Velodrome. Down the end is a dry ski slope. But I'm more interested in this cafe here, so let's go and patronise that, and I'll speak to you again soon. Yeah, very impressed at the climbing wall. Wish I'd been able to get to it when I was much younger, much more able. Not sure I ever really did it well, but yeah, so still a bit more to see around here, but I just got distracted. So gonna put my feet up for a bit and carry on, do a little bit of wrap up, and I think we're nearly there. So well done, everyone. An awkward phase, although, you know, not hard going, just technically awkward with roads and stuff, not much of a beach. But yeah, nice to have made it here. Do a bit more from the very end, see what the Solent looks like in total. Fascinating. I don't know, I mean, I'm terribly bad at guessing eras, but that old brickwork on the back looks relatively modern. It's been reworked or remodelled or built up a bit. Don't know. There's probably a sign somewhere, that might be a better bet. Look for an actual fact. You can see how this bit would have been strategically important throughout the history of the Solent, though. Southampton as a seat of a naval power and all that. Sign says Tudor, yes! This is more impressive though, look at that. And it's one of these NCI Coastwatch people, I think. You know, there's little sort of white huts full of volunteer coast guards we've been seeing since Minehead. It's one of them. Certainly the most impressive one of them I've seen so far. NCI Calshot Tower, bloody hell, they got a whole... Look at that, that's brilliant. I'm very impressed. Lifeboat station, a couple of other hangars there. I think some of them are museums or something, not sure. Various private boat moorings. Have a mooch about. And then, yeah, Gastown, which we'll be exploring next time. Or more likely going along a boring inland detour route instead. Get a close-up look at that. So, turbine halls. There used to be chimneys on, obviously. Not now anymore. Yeah, get to see all of that. So basically we're going to get to Hythe Ferry, which is somewhere beyond yonder oil tanker terminal country. That's next time. And then the time after that we pick up on the other side. Somewhere up there. Southampton way, and then start coming back down here. And I don't know how far we'll get along there in any given schedule, but we'll see. Once we get around there, across the Hamble in the distance, and then all the way down this coast here until we get to, well, wherever it goes really. Just keep on going, the road goes ever on and on and all that. But yeah, somewhere down there is Portsmouth, Clarence Pier Seafront, Southsea, where the hovercraft goes from, and that's when I'll break off and do an actual week of proper camping again. But yeah, I think a quick little mooch around here, see what else we can see. I think we're mostly done for today, so well done everyone. Made it this far. Not quite sure what these other hangars are. Perhaps slightly less full of adventure sports and stuff. Yeah, I think you get the idea. Right, I'm going to sign off now. I've got to just troop back along that spit to the car park. Then I'm going to find something to eat on the way home. Oh, look, there goes the Isle of Wight ferry. Heard Fulham. So there we are, Calshot. So just to sign off, I've recently purchased via the amazing online shoppings and stuff. I've gone and got myself a scratch-off outline map of the United Kingdom. I reckon I must have done a centimetre today, so that's good. Soon I'll be able to see how terrifyingly far I still have to go on this stupid project. So yeah, see you next time. Goodbye.